Rocking your airwaves since 2021 is WBBC Chicago 77.3.
Turn it out.
Get in tune.
Chicago 77.3, man, back at it again, yet in the cold, but yet, man, you guys already know what time it is. It's the one and only DJ Malone. Appreciate you guys listening to me. I got something for you guys, man. I love hearing good stories come together. I like when great minds think alike, and I like when you have a story and you can collude all that and you bring it into a fruition. You have a great book right here, people. I want you guys to really get in tune with everything. Go introduce yourself, John. Go introduce yourself and then how we got this down.
Hi, my name is John Senn. I've been writing I've got a couple of decent books out. Very first book I worked on was actually with Alicia. I did a solo book called Complex World of Love. That one did pretty well. And then Alicia and I worked together on Shattered Minds.
I like this. Alicia, man, go into introduce yourself.
Hi, thank you, DJ Malone. My name is Alicia Rice. I have been an author for, well over 10 years. International bestseller, won plenty of awards. And now my life mission really is to help the people in my life fulfill their dreams and become, whether it's an author, whether it's, whatever their passion is, that's pretty much what I am dedicating this part of my life to. And I'm happy to be here. Thank you.
Thank you guys for being here, man. So, I know we're gonna get to the book, but I really like the history, and I really want to kind of go back into a time machine. And how did you two become a team? How did this happen?
Um, can I take this one, Alicia?
Yes.
All right, so here's the deal. Me and Alicia worked at a place that was absolute hell. Like like everybody else that has to deal with work. The only difference is this place like sucked the soul out of you every single day. And so I mean, you look for other people. It's like, you know what? I'm miserable. You're miserable. Let's be miserable together. And Alicia, it has from the very first time I met her, had this light that it did not matter how bad your day was. She had something uplifting to say, something positive to say, and she was able to twist whatever shit day you had into something that you were happy that she was around. And that metamorphed from just being coworkers to being friends to I call her one of my best friends on this planet. To I now I refer to her as my sister from another mister. So like that's how it all worked. And then I got recruited to go to another job. She ended up going to another job, and then we found each other again. And I think everything really coalesced around Wing Day. We used to, man, I'm gonna tell you, I used to do like all these jars of different wing sauces here at the house, and everybody would come over. Everybody bring a bag of wings. We throw it down, wash everything up, fry it, toss it up, and everybody just eat wings all damn day. And
Okay,
that's where
okay.
shit really get real. Cause you be talking with your friends like, this is the shit that I've been trying to do. I've been trying to do this. I've been trying to do that. And then Lisa would pop in and be like, this is what y'all need to do. What you need to do is you need to pay attention and actually stop talking about it and do some shit. So like she's a motivating queen. So
Yeah.
I'm appreciative from the very get go.
Well, but side note, what is your favorite kind of wing? What kind of flavor?
Oh, I'm a Buffalo guy all the way through, baby.
I
Buffalo.
I respect that. I respect that, man.
I'm look. I'm gonna tell you right now. I make my own hot sauce here at the house. Like I'll tell you, my shit's so good, your tongue will slap your forehead. I'll tell you that. Like
Okay,
it's
I ain't
good.
mad at that, man. I'm not mad at that.
I have to
Alicia.
co-sign that completely.
Okay, so he said you can vouch for that. Okay, man,
Yes.
that's what's up. That's what's up. So with that being said, Alicia, how now coming from that, like building that chemistry up with with your friend and everything, Like that's a cool thing, man. Because when you it's hard to, as grown-ups, it's hard to find friends. You get what I'm saying? So when you find somebody that, hey yo man, we click, we jam just like that, that's a beautiful thing, man. So when you look back at y'all's bondship, how do you feel?
Oh gosh, I am blessed every single day, because I don't think I could say it any better than how John described how we used to work. I would say it. There were moments that it wasn't as bad for me because of my particular position at that particular company, but yeah, there were some trying times, and I don't know. It was just like with him, like even from the first moment that I met John, I knew immediately there was something different. It's weird. I kind of knew immediately that this would turn into something well beyond just two coworkers being cool with each other. Like I knew that we would end up having a friendship. I'll say the moment for me where he turned into family for me and John. I don't know if you remember this, but at the place where we used to work, and I won't say too much because I don't want to put the place on blast, but I worked in HR at the time. John was a security officer, and I
Okay.
was getting ready to go home for the day. And the customer where we work had asked me to watch something for her. And I was on my way out the door. I wasn't in a rush or anything. And so I was like, yeah, sure, go ahead. And another customer comes up and, long story short, tried to threaten me. And I was like, well, I guess I'm gonna lose my job today because if you put your hands on me, it's gonna be GG's. And still to this day, I don't know where John and Steve came from, but when I realized that, I was like, okay, it's time to throw hands. He pulls me back. Steve comes in front of me and was like, I believe she said that she was doing ABC. You need to keep it moving. And like they were ready. And it was like from that moment on, I was like, yeah, this my family right here. That we're now beyond friends. This my family, both him and Steve.
I
And
like
from
this.
that,
Yeah, I do
pretty much
remember.
the rest
That's
was
the dude
history.
that we threw at the door.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh my God, dude, I gotta tell you about this shit. This motherfucker was so sideways. Like, first of all, you ain't about to fucking talk to my sister like that. You can kick bricks, right? Me and Steve, you have to understand, Steve was like 6 foot and weighed 350. All right. So he ain't small by himself. And at the time, I was still working out. We legitimately threw this man at the front door
Damn.
We
and
did.
knocked it off the hinges. I do remember that. That was so much. I got in so much trouble. That shit was. It was worth it though.
I like this, but you know what I like, and what I hear in this is the love, is the care, man, and I
Oh
love
hell yeah.
the words of affirmation that maybe you guys. It's always funny when you see different things from different standpoints, and it comes out on a positive way. I really like that for you guys, man, and you can tell that you guys really cut for each other. That true love there.
Oh hell yeah. I'll die for her. I'll burn
Definitely.
this world to the ground over that woman.
That's what's up,
Same
man.
here.
I like that.
Same.
That's my family.
I like this. I
Like
love it.
like her cheering. Like call me Uncle John.
Yeah,
I
he
like
sure
this, man.
is.
I like this, man. So now, as far as writing, was writing always in the plans? Like, was this something? Hey, yo, man, I always aspired to be an author, or what was the plans?
I wasn't inspired until her book, the very first book I read of hers called The Epiphany. Like when I read that book, it was like, oh shit, this is phenomenal. Like I legitimately, you can count on your hand. I don't know how anybody else is, but I can legitimately count on one hand how many books I've like sat down and went, I need to reread that again, and then picked it right back up to read it one more time because there may have been something I missed. I read her book, The Epiphany, and was legitimately, and then she came, we had a conversation, and she was like, you can do this too. And I'm over here like, I don't even know if that's like my thing. She said, you got a good creative mind, this, that, and the other. I sat down to write a book. And I asked her, look, that was the very first book. Wasn't it The Silent Guardian?
Yep.
Yeah. I was
That
like,
was first.
look, if I get to writing Can you maybe jump on it and give me some pointers on where I need to do better? What this, And she like, this was good, this was bad, this is this. And then I asked her if she'd jump on the book and like be an author on it, and she said yes, which answered my prayers because I got to work with my best fucking friend again.
I love
And
it.
then that was awesome. And then that turned into us working on this. Shattered Minds is a is the story of a man whose brain and everybody around him is broken. You know what I'm saying? Like just broke. And they find comfort in one another in a way to actually move forward. But like the tagline is good doesn't always win. And that's not just a tagline for the book. Good doesn't always win, but right will always prevail.
I like
You,
that.
you, you
That's
feel
real.
what I'm saying?
That's real. That's real.
So that's what the motivation throughout the entire book was, is because you have within the story itself, you've got people that train together, fight together, have back with each other, but you don't know that that person may be stabbing you in the back, which is something that we can all relate to. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You may have a friend of like 10, 15 years. Next thing you know, they sideways behind your back talking shit.
That's real.
But then you got other people that are right there, and that's your ride or die. Like Alicia, my ride or die. You feel what I'm saying? So like I was able to just bounce shit off of her. Then she came in talking about why don't we do this and why don't we do this, because she's much more of a creative brain on the right side. So she's able to fill in gaps where I wasn't thinking about it. And the book just got that much clearer.
But don't when you talk about it like that, do you feel like that's within y'all's bondship right there? Is that how you guys are kind of like the yin and yang, and how it kind of morphs into the book? Because I think that's a beautiful
Oh yeah.
innuendo for that. You get what I'm saying? And
Oh yeah.
I really appreciate that about that.
Oh yeah. Without a doubt, without her, it would have never come about ever,
I would
because
like to say, I don't
you
think
need
John
that
is
person.
giving himself enough credit because Shattered Minds, the story itself was absolutely amazing. I remember reading it like the first time when he first finished it. And it was just like it just evolved into this amazing world of its own, and just like the way his mind worked when writing the book, like I was just like I'm a fan automatically. And when I'm working with authors or just like in consulting period, if I have a relationship with you, I know how to separate the two. So when I say that Shatter Minds is like an amazing journey, I am removing the fact that John is my brother. I'm removing the fact that he's my best friend. Like there's a lot of realness and creativity in that book. So I just want to kind of throw that out, that he's not giving himself enough credit because the story, the plot, the imagery, all him.
I like this. I like this, and I think too is that I think it's it's a good telling book because it's really about life and about bondship and everything. John, let me ask you this. Let me ask you a real question, real quick, man. As far as the character, I think John Irons, I think that's his name.
Yeah,
How? Let me ask you. Let me rephrase the question. How close is that character to maybe who you are in the core?
a lot, in my core. So so people that know me will actually every things that have happened in my real life always make it into the book, right? Those that have grown up with me or known me before and after, they'll be reading through the book, and it'll be like, oh shit, I remember whenever this particular thing happened in real life. And it's like, yeah, I kind of slid that in because books are better whenever they have something to ground it in the real world. You know what I'm saying? So the character is loosely based off of me,
Good.
but his that at the end of the day, that core essence, yeah, that's me.
I like that. I like that, man. And but see, that's what makes the great story. Is that, like you said, it's internally you. So I really commend you for that, because a lot of people will, because it's a book, I can go crazy off the rails, and he could be Superman with iron eyes and all types of, and not saying that that's but sometimes simple is the realest thing to go by. So I got to commend you for that. Alicia, let me ask you this: coming into it, what has been one of the harder chapters when going through the draft and everything?
Ooh, that is a really good question. I'll say this. I think the hardest for me, and I'll go back to like the first draft. So I have the benefit of, yes, I'm an author, but I'm also an avid reader. I love to read books, and I like pretty much all genres. And so when I think about the first draft of Shattered Minds, I loved everything about it. And because I am a writer and a reader, I love lore. I love the backstory because I want to be able to imagine everything. And I had a beta reader to check out Shattered Minds before it was released. And she was like, it is absolutely amazing. She's like, it is very lore heavy. She said, I think where y'all might come into a crossroad is if you have a person like me or you who loves lore, they're going to love it because it's all the action, it's all the realism plus the lore. John also had a different beta reader to read it. And when he sent it back, I was like, I had to remember, I had to remove my personal feelings from it because I'm
Right,
very much like
right.
attached to the story. But she tore it up. When I say she tore it up, she tore it up. And I was like, oh my gosh. But I was able to recall back to what my beta reader said, because a lot of her comments was around like just too much deep in lore. Like it's just too much lore dumping, so to speak. And so with the iteration that's out now, I was like, okay, some of this lore has to stay because you're not going to be able to connect the dots with all the characters and the personality if we take out all the lore.
That's real.
So
That's
in the, I would like to say the refresh is like I honored what I loved about it, what I know John loves about it, what my beta reader loves about it, but also keeping in mind of the second beta reader, which is why we have the product that is available on Amazon today. But that was definitely the hardest part, getting that second beta reader's feedback. Like I was like, oh, gut punch, but it was needed.
I
That's
respect that.
true. That did hurt.
But I think though too is, I think sometimes even when I do interviews and talk to people, sometimes you have to go uncomfortable a little bit in order, because that's the reality of the situation. When I talk to people about either death or maybe even certain things that are really uncomfortable to talk about, you have to talk about it, because otherwise
Yep.
then it doesn't make it real, or it doesn't come off as real. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
So I
So
can
one of the
respect
things that a lot of that though, and I don't know if we actually touched on this before, but one thing about Shattered Minds is there was actually I wrote two different versions of every chapter of the book.
that. Wow. Okay.
I would write, and I think a couple of the chapters I wrote three, but I would write chapter one, and then it would be alternate chapter one, and then chapter two, alternate chapter two. So there was times where I had two different timelines going at the same time. So essentially, the one book took two books and put it together.
Okay. Okay. I can and but you know what though? I want to ask this. In that process, how do you choose on, okay, this is what's going in and this is what's going out?
I asked Alicia.
That's real.
I ain't even gonna lie on that one. I asked her which one looked better,
That's real,
which
man.
one made the story do better, and then
I
it would come
respect that,
through.
man. Now
And
let me.
honestly, it made my job a lot easier because since he had like, version A and version B, it was like, okay, version A is the strongest. So this is what's going to, be put in. But then, like, I'll say actually around chapter 6, it was like, ooh, version B is a little bit more darker, more grittier, more action packed. Not going to go with version A for to put in this part of the story. Now we're going to flip to version B. And that part of it was really fun too.
I like that, and you know what? It comes with good formula, and then it maybe down the line, maybe you come out with a Shattered Minds alternative. Who knows? You know what I'm saying? There's
Oh,
ample as enough opportunities for you to, because you can now that this is out, this version is out. Now you can recreate the timeline of what you already wrote.
that's not a bad idea.
So
I feel
We
that.
get, since he said that, Alicia, let me hit you with an idea. What if we wrote it from like Sergey's point of view?
Get out of my head. I was like, Sergey's point of view would be fantastic.
Yes, yes, it would.
I like this. See, we got the brain going already, man. I like this. I love this, man. I'm feeling like I'm in the meeting with you right
Oh,
now.
oh, Seco.
I was gonna say, but see, that could be book 3. We can
That
have
could be
the
book.
next book could be
Oh
Sergey, and
shit.
book 3 could be Siko's view.
Oh, hey, bro, I'm gonna give you. If I actually write this shit, I'm gonna give you a contributing like a credit
Most
on that.
I
definitely.
appreciate that. I appreciate that, man. I want to ask about this cover too, man, because I really think the cover stands out very much. On the left hand side, man, it's blue. On the right, there's kind of warrior a little bit. Why going into that lane?
So currently, I'm a VSSO. I'm a veteran social service officer. Okay. My job is to help veterans that otherwise other people haven't given a hand to. All right. And one thing that I have learned through my personal experience and through helping other veterans is all veterans are okay until they're not.
I could.
You can be having the best day, but at the end of the night, whenever you're sitting by yourself at your house, there's two different people running around in your head. You got the
You're right.
guy that is smiling and happy and interacting with everybody, and it's absolutely wonderful. There's nothing wrong. I've got it handled. Everything's okay. And then you've got the other guy that's running around in the back of your head like, you know what? I can grab some C4 and I can make all this shit stop.
That's
Right?
real. That's real.
It's the duality, and it's a shattered mind. The original working title was "Shattered Mind of the Broken Soldier" because you have a soldier that is just completely stripped into nothingness in his soul. Everything's taken away. I don't want to do spoilers, but he has to learn to live with the darkness,
Yep.
and he has to learn to live with the light.
That's real.
So
That's deep.
there's a constant there's a constant war in himself. The internal monologue. He's never 100% sure of what's actually going on, what's happening. There's second guessing all the way through the book itself, and seeing that, that's why we put the imagery the way that it is, because you have one guy but you've got two parts of him.
And that makes sense. That makes complete. I love it. And the way that you described it is that's how it looks. I love that. I love that, man.
Appreciate it.
So looking back at it now, how do you guys both feel now that it's out? What did you feel when you hit the publish button? How did it feel?
Relief, um, pride. Um, I felt pride in two different categories. I felt proud that the book published, but I was more excited the fact that I actually got to collaborate with Alicia again. Um, that is always, anytime you get to work with family, anytime you get to work with friends on something that's important to you, you really and truly cherish that time and the interaction. The late night video chats on FaceTime where it's like, all right, so I was thinking this and I was thinking that, and then she's back with, I was thinking this and I was thinking that. It's just it you have nothing but fond memories because you got to collaborate, and that's to me that was the best part. So I hope that answered
Uh,
the question.
no, that was perfect. Alicia, how do you feel, man? It's out. It's published. So, what's your thoughts, man?
Honestly, excitement, gratefulness, um, and even just for this opportunity with you this evening, my heart is truly full. It's an amazing story around truth. And John put it perfectly, balancing light and darkness and how to live in it. And especially in our world right now, even though it's a fictional book, it's very. And so I'm excited for more people to pick it up, to read it, whether you're an old school girly like me that loves a physical book, or if you are one of the new agers that, like an ebook. I think just having it out there so people have something that they can relate to and kind of help navigate how do I operate, in a crazy world and have to live in duality, pretty much 99% of the time. And so, yes, it's fiction, but I think it is a great avenue to help people to navigate, especially with everything that's going on. So all the things, but definitely grateful would be my number one feeling.
Okay. You cut out just a tad bit at the beginning, but I think people got the gist of it and everything. As far as audio wise, man, I know, the book. Everybody loves the audiobook, man. I think you guys would be perfect to narrate the audiobook.
Oh,
I'm like, oh, DJ Malone, you are amazing, because that's actually one of the things that I plan to talk to John about, most likely after we're done with you, but definitely over the weekend, because I've been looking at, do we narrate it or do we hire narrators, which I have researched that can get a little pricey. Or I know some people, they either love AI or they hate AI. I've even looked into, some AI narrators that actually sound, you know, like a human being and not like a, Skynet or anything. So it's something that I actually have been thinking about. And I do believe that that is going to be our next move. It's just which
I think you're
avenue are
right.
we going to go? So thank you for the flowers of if we did it ourselves.
You guys have a voice where Alicia, you have a great voice. His voice is the yin and yang, because if he comes in, I just feel like that will be the entertainment. People will grab to your voice, yo. I'm not gonna lie to you, John. You have a
I appreciate
very
it.
inviting voice to you, man. So, and I'm not just saying that just to top chops or whatever. I'm just telling you, I think you could do it, man. I really do, and I think you have fun doing it.
I appreciate that. I might look into that. I would think, if I was gonna have anybody narrate like a horror story, I would go with like Betty White, but she ain't around no more. So
He said, you gotta love it, man. You gotta love it. Um,
there's some spicy parts in the book that I wrote just to be spicy. And I think it'd be hilarious to have somebody like Betty White, like reading some kind of like
you know what?
spicy shit.
You know who'll be perfect? Do you ever remember who's that All in the Family? I think he came on and Nick and Night. It was with Archie Bunker and all that. I think the
Yeah.
wife would definitely be, or the Family Guy's wife. I think that would be funny, man.
Oh, Peter. Peter.
So yeah, I think that
Oh, now
definitely
I
be
can't
fun.
unhear it.
Oh my God, that would be. Oh yeah, I could get down with that. That should be funny as hell.
Definitely, man. So, where can the people find you guys at individually?
So I'm on TikTok, Coconut John. On TikTok, I'm on Instagram, Coconut John TDC. Uh, that's about it.
Okay, okay. Alicia?
Yeah, for me, Facebook, Alicia Rice Author, Instagram, Alicia Rice Author, TikTok, A Rice Author, and you can actually find both of us on my website, which is aliciariceauthor.com.
And then the book is on Amazon as well. Amazon, everywhere they can get books at.
Yes,
Absolutely.
sir.
Shattered Minds, people. Make sure you guys get in tune with it and go grab a copy. Now, is there physical copies or just the digital one right now?
Both. Readers have
Yeah,
an
you can
option to
buy the book.
purchase physical or ebook.
Okay, bad, bad. I'm definitely going to get my hands on that so we can put it in the station, man. Because that's definitely going to be a good read. It's definitely going to be a good read, man. So, um, what's next? I know we got the juicy going and everything as far as with the book, but is there any other project coming in for 26?
Yeah, actually, yes. So throughout every book that I've written has been one singular uh, organization called the Sentinel product or Sentinel program. So, and the next book that I'm actually working on now is called the Sentinels Fall, where it actually goes through and starts dismantling the Sentinel program. Uh, the Aegis is we did an entire world building that took I think probably a month or so to actually flesh out everything about it, to actually build explain backstories of all of the characters. Um, because I'm old, I prefer to go old school with that kind of thing. I don't sit there and use like Alicia was talking about where you can do like AI and stuff like that.
Yeah,
That's not
yeah.
that ain't my shit. Like I
I
prefer
respect
just
that.
I sit there and you know I'm either feeling it that day or I ain't feeling it that day. If I'm feeling it, we'll sit down and bang out a chapter. And if I ain't feeling it, I'll be doing something else.
That's real.
So
That's real. Eating your buffalo wings. Eating your
hell
buffalo.
yeah. I tell you right now, I'd tear up some wings any day.
Definitely, man. Definitely. Who you got going into the Super Bowl, man? What you got going?
I gotta go Seahawks.
You gotta go see. Well, I didn't ask you guys. Where you guys from?
Oh, I'm from Alabama.
Okay, okay, okay. Alicia.
And I'm originally from St. Louis, Missouri. For the longest time, I did call Alabama home, but now I reside in Atlanta, Georgia.
Okay, that's what's up. Okay, yeah, yeah. I think my team was already knocked out, man. I was going with the 49ers, so they got knocked out.
Mm.
Then of course Bears. They and it was a good game. It was a good game. They came down to that field goal. So everybody I know is out now.
I'm telling you, the Seahawks, they just got something about them this year.
Yeah, their defense is cold, but the offense is really calculated, man. So I got to give them that.
Man, that oh man, what you talking about? That offense, they be breaking ankles, bro.
Yeah. So I definitely do appreciate you, John and Alicia. I appreciate this, man. And don't be a stranger, man. If you guys ever come to Houston or Chicago, let us know.
We
I'll do
definitely
that.
Definitely, man. Chicago 77.3, man. It's the one and only DJ Malone. We out. One.